All right, let's talk about this, Jason. This has been making waves. I saw this. I was tweeting about it immediately on July 14th. Sean Paul Reyes, he's got a YouTube channel called The Long Island Auditor, and we talked about it at the beginning of the show. He does First Amendment audits and essentially teaches the laws. And he's done a very, very good job. I think he's close to almost 1 million subscribers on his channel. And he's kind of like Aiden in the sense, you know, he's a little bit different, but tells some of those similar stories. And I want to actually commend Sean a lot for raising the level of awareness that went on in the Marcy Correctional Facilities with the killing and murder of Robert Brooks. And we've now, and I've been following that on my channel as well too, an inmate that was killed during a transfer from one facility to another. And ironically, these correctional officers, they wore body cameras that day, or they wear them in that facility, but didn't realize that 4 of them turned on. And the filming and murder of Robert Brooks by, I think, 9 or 10 Marcy Correctional Facility officers was recorded. There is no sound, but we can clearly see what happened on the video. And I've been following that. I think a couple of them are due back in court soon. And we've seen one take a plea deal so far. And there's going to be multiple ones that think they're going to fight this and get away with it. I don't see it's going to happen, but I want to commend Sean for that, for bringing that case to light. He went down there and challenged a lot of the correctional officers and basically called them beat-up squads. Does this facility have a beat-up squad? And asked those tough questions and wanted those answers. But obviously we saw now this story here, and I'm going to share my screen. Let's see. So he was out the other day in Groton, and he's had this kind of run-in with a state trooper in and around this area. And ironically enough, it's for an overtime scandal, because this particular officer has been collecting a lot of money on overtime, and Sean's wanted answers to this. So I'm going to read this a little bit. So Groton, Connecticut, the town of Groton Police Department say they've actively investigating an incident from Friday that involved a law enforcement officer and 2 men. The men were identified as Sean Paul Reyes, 34, from Gorham, New York. And I'm going to probably get this wrong, Tahim Glover, 20, from Selden, New York. Police did not identify the law enforcement officer, of course. Why would we want to do that, right, Jason?
Yeah.
Around 4:52 p.m., the town of Groton received a 911 call about a disturbance. According to the police department, the caller was a law enforcement officer who spoke for the different agencies of the off-duty at the time. And I think the officer's last name is Fahey. I think I've got that right.
No, it's a are you talking about the state cop?
Yes,
it's Fahey, Brian Fahey.
Fahey. I'm sorry, yep. Fahey. I don't know why I said Tahey. Maybe I had Tully and I don't know.
No, I think above when you got the Sean's cameraman's name was Tahim. So I think maybe you got that. Yeah.
Yes.
So I think maybe you got Tahey.
I mixed
Tahim.
The two, right? And Sean's had kind of this past with this officer, I think, over the last 2 years of calling him out. And they've had some run-ins before where he's gone in and asked questions to get FOIA requests and information. Is this being investigated? And they've given him a lot of pushback and a lot of trouble at the state facilities. And again, so he went out to Fahey's house the other day and knocked on the door. I mean, he has every right to do that as a journalist. And I thought the reaction was so overwhelming and so shocking, because I got to ask the question, and we'll play the video here in a second. I have to ask the question: if this said ABC News, if this said, Fox News, CNN News, would the reaction been a lot different? And we'll play the video, and I want to get your thoughts on that here in a second. But I'm not going to play the full video, but I want to give everybody kind of an idea of what happened.
Hey, what's up, guys? Long Island Audit here, back again with another video. We are currently at an undisclosed affluent location here in the state of Connecticut. Excuse me, Corrupticut. We are here today, as you can see, to peacefully exercise our First Amendment right to protest and resist tyranny, and also to investigate.
So real quick, that truck is badass. He actually went out because he was trying, from what I understand, he was trying to rent one. And obviously companies don't want to get involved in controversial things.
Yeah.
He went out and actually bought an LED truck, and he drives this thing around. And
this is funny because when I saw this, my first thought was that between him and his cameraman, I'm like, these guys did a 2-man rolling rally. Like, this is the funniest thing that I've ever seen,
Yeah. It's great.
It was great. I agree.
All right.
Allegations of corruption that has been made against Connecticut State Trooper Sergeant Brian Fahey. As you can see behind me, Sergeant Brian Fahey is no stranger to tyranny and corruption. Let's get into it. Now, as far as the allegations being made against Sergeant Brian Fahey, I was told through an anonymous tip that he is receiving fraudulent overtime every single year. Now, that was strange to me because Sergeant Brian Fahey, as we know, is the sergeant of pistol permits in an office. How does he receive overtime to begin with? Isn't it a 9-to-5 job? So I did some investigating, and Sergeant Brian Fahey makes over $200,000 a year. Now get this, $75,000 of that $212,000 to be exact comes from overtime. $75,000. How can this be? Does he stay late when they're closed after 5 o'clock? Does he go back on the streets to patrol? I mean, I was told by my sources that he was kicked out of patrol and he's a danger to the community. That's why they have him working in the office. But to get $75,000 in overtime every single year from a desk job, it didn't add up. And that's why I came here to Sergeant Brian Fahey's neighborhood to protest his tyranny and corruption, the lack of accountability, but it's also, as any good independent journalist would, to ask questions about this overtime allegation. So as always, you always want to be on the lookout for any no trespassing signs, restricted area signs. I don't see why there would be in this neighborhood here, but you know, we just want to ask some questions, see what's going on with this overtime allegation. Hopefully he answers us. It says here, the Faheys, looks like we're in the right spot. Again, there aren't any no trespassing signs. We're just coming in peace to ask some questions. Oh, I'm currently being recorded.
So first notable thing I want to say about this video, he went up and knocked on the door and he actually created space. He came back off the porch.
I noticed that too when I watched it the first time, is it really is, he's not intimidating in any way.
Nope. He's knocked on the door. He's created space and walked back onto the patio. Here we go.
Ring camera said.
It's not even on his front step.
Can I help you?
Hey, Sergeant Fahey, how are you?
You gotta get off my property. It's posted no trespassing.
Nope, there is no posted sign.
Yeah,
There's no
right
problem.
here.
Do you have any, let's go. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are, I am moving. Do you have any comment on the allegations that you are receiving? Couldn't even.
Okay. Now I want everybody to wait and see what's going to happen here, because this is where it gets ridiculous and out of hand. And I think the thing that's very weird about it is that the officer leaves, he goes back in his house and comes out. So now, I mean, in my opinion, he's creating a threat. You know, when he comes out with his pistol. Here we go.
Get the question out, ladies and gentlemen. He was so angry. Couldn't even get the question out. He says that there's no trespassing signs. Let's see. Let's see if there's no trespassing signs. What a coward. He can assault me in broad daylight while receiving taxpayer money. But the minute an independent journalist comes to his home, and he's probably going to try and get me unlawfully arrested now. As you can see, I moved back his camera that says you're currently being recorded. Film this guy. You're crazy. What do you think I'm doing, you psycho? You have a weapon in your hand? What are you doing? What are you doing? I don't have any weapons. I'm a journalist. What do you think I'm doing, you psychopath? What do you think I'm doing?
Now, get off my property right now.
What do you think?
Get off my property right now.
I'm off your property.
This is my property.
Well, do you see me not moving?
All the way to the cul-de-sac.
Calm down.
Get off my fucking property.
Get that gun out of your hand.
Get off my fucking property.
Get that gun out of your hand.
I'm a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care who you are.
Trespassing
I don't care
on
who you are.
Fucking property.
I don't care who you are.
Get off my fucking property.
I don't care who you are.
Right now.
You spit in my
off my
face.
property
Right there.
right
You're going
now.
to jail now.
Get
Look
off
at
my
this.
property.
So apparently, because I've watched a lot of videos on this and a lot of lawyers have broken it down, that's not assault in the state of Connecticut. You can literally spit in someone's face. But let's turn the table. If Sean Paul Reyes legitimately spit in Fahey's face, it would be assault on an officer.
You know, the funny thing is I I watched that unfold live, obviously, at the other end of this video when the police were there talking about it. Yet I can find cases in Connecticut where people were charged with assault for spitting in other people's faces that were not police officers. They've charged it. I've watched them charge it in other cases here in Connecticut. They just didn't charge it in this case because they found, the police shouldn't be looking for a loophole to avoid charging somebody. You know what I mean? I mean, sure, they should do their due diligence or whatever else, but if they would charge the average citizen with that crime, then they should charge the state police sergeant with that crime.
If Sean Paul Reyes would have done that to Fahey, he'd probably be in prison for 5 years.
Well, the funny thing is a crime to spit on a police officer.
Yeah,
there's a difference in the statute, which is like completely, ridiculous. Well, it's because when the Groton police officer tells them, no, it's because I'm a police officer, and you actually think that it's justified that you have an added level of protection from being spit on than the average citizen does. Why is it? Explain it. But the real important part of the clip that we saw so far is there's not a person in the world that can watch that clip and not immediately see who the aggressor is in the clip. There's no justification. The moment that he said, "Get off my property," Sean started to move.
Yeah.
He never stopped.
He was retreating.
He never stopped. Sure, he walked backwards and then he turned around. He never stopped moving. He was moving off the property in constant motion. For him to be arrested was so outrageous in this case. We didn't get there yet, but sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, we'll get to that. Yeah, and the thing that's weird is that, and that's why I turned around and said, Fahey became the primary aggressor, where he left, went in and got his pistol and came out and started to chase Sean off his property, where what could he have done, Jason? He's already on the phone with 911. We see how quickly they get there, because they get there pretty damn quick. If he just would have went in his house and he was so concerned, if he's so concerned, go in your house, you're already on the phone with 911, they would have shown up. It's not like they're not going to fucking see who Sean is. He's got this big LED truck out there, and they could have just talked to him out there. But and yet he wanted to chase him off the property because he wanted something to happen, and I'm telling you, he wanted to kill him. He wanted to kill him. He wanted.
I believe that. I agree with you 100%. And the truth is when he went in his house, he makes it. I don't know how much more we're gonna play, but he makes an argument within there where he's saying, "You threatened my life. You threatened my." He's setting up the scene where he has it on camera that he said that so that he can pull the trigger. I agree with you, but in any reasonable situation, he made a mistake by doing that. And I don't think he understands this, because in any reasonable situation, if you're saying that you are in fear, well, then the correct response was when you went inside, you could watch through the window, arm yourself for your security. But if you're in fear, you wouldn't go back out and have the second confrontation and be the aggressor in the confrontation. You would stay back, observe, report to the 911 operator what was happening. And the report had to have been, if you did that, I asked him to leave the property and he's retreating off the property. And then you would wait for the police.
Yeah, I don't see a weapon. I just see a camera, things like that. Here's the even scarier thing about it. What if it wasn't recorded? Sean Reyes probably would have been dead today. Probably would have been dead. And guess what? His ring cam footage or whatever his camera probably wouldn't have worked. Just didn't record. We lost the footage.
They never would ask for it. They never would ask for it.
Nope. And it would have been a justified killing. And clearly, thank God he recorded this. All right, here we go.
Look at this. He's spitting in my face. You saw you're going to jail.
Face. I'm spitting as I'm talking to you.
No, you spit
Get
in
off
my
my
face.
property.
You spit in
right
my face.
now.
You spit in my face.
Get off my
You're
property.
going to jail.
Right now.
I'm going.
Get off my property.
I've been going.
Right
Since the
now.
moment you told me.
Get off
That's
my
not
property.
how criminal trespass
right
works.
now.
Psycho.
Get
You're
off
a
my
psycho,
property.
bro.
Right
Look
now.
at the gun in his hand. This guy's
Goddamn right.
crazy.
I'm a Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care what shit who you
are
are.
trespassing on my property.
That doesn't matter. You can't
threatened
break
to
the law.
kill me.
I didn't.
You threatened to
You
kill me
lied.
online.
Right. No, I
Get
did
off
not.
my fucking
You're a
property.
liar.
Right
You
now.
are a liar.
Right now.
Look, see the big
Get off
beautiful
my
billboard
property.
truck? It's all being recorded.
I don't care.
It's all being. I
Get
know you
off
don't
my
care.
property
Because you don't face any
right now.
consequences.
Get
You
off
don't
my
face any
property
consequences.
right now.
Don't
This is
spit in
the
my
biggest
face.
mistake you ever
No,
made.
no, it's not.
This
It's
is
the biggest mistake you ever made.
just going to bring this up. Jay says, hey, I'm a pro First Amendment right. Get off his property. It's really simple. He's doing that. He's retreating. And I'm sorry. And I'm just going to say this, JD. If someone has a gun in their hand, I'm not turning my back to them. I think Sean's doing the perfectly good thing here to keep that pistol in his sight of vision, because he turns his back and say he goes to turn back around. Fahey might take that as a threat and fucking shoot and kill Sean. So I commend him for what he's doing. He's retreating. He's backing up. But the most important thing, when someone has a weapon and they're down at their side or they're pointing it at you, you want eyes on that weapon at all time, because you don't know what's going to happen. Go ahead, Jason. You're going to say something?
Yeah, and Nan had popped in and said that the camera was Sean's weapon and the best weapon used that day, and that's absolutely correct. And that's the only weapon that Brian Fahey was actually afraid of too. So this is not a response of someone who's in fear. This guy, I guess in context, for those of us who watched the previous videos, their first interaction at the Connecticut State Police headquarters and all these other things, this guy is the weapon. Like, this guy is
he pushed Sean. He pushed Sean.
He completely created, talk about, we talk about good police practice and de-escalation and these things. This guy completely created every single scene. Sean was going to the Connecticut State Police headquarters to file a public records request, and he needed no interaction with this firearms officer. There was no reason for there to even be an interaction between them. And Fahey is the one that initiated the action, and he was the aggressor in that video. Every single time there's a video with Sergeant Brian Fahey, he's escalating. He's doing that.
Yeah.
The law is really clear on this. If you're a journalist, you can go up and you can knock on a person's door to ask a question. And if they tell you to leave, you have to leave. And everything that Sean, I get that people may not like what he did, and they're going to say, oh, he brought a video truck out there and this guy's he's instigating and he's a clown. Nope. He did what every reporter in this country is allowed to do, which is walk up and knock on the door. And when the person told him to leave, he immediately turned around and left. Like that's that. And your point about him not turning, because he turned and started to walk away facing forward.
And then he said, I have a gun in my hand. I have a gun in my hand.
And he only turned back around then. And the truth is you're right. We see it all the time with police reports and everything else. Oh, he reached for something. Yep. He turned, he did this.
That's what he wanted Sean to do. He wanted Sean to turn around. And then if he turned back around, so let's just say Sean turned and walked Jason, right? He's turning and he turns back around. That's when people get shot. That's when people get killed. And then come to find out, oh, guess what? They were unarmed. They were unarmed and they were killed. Kimber says he could have just said, please leave, and went back inside the house. That's my greater point in all of this. And I know JD's, kind of having a discussion with people in the chat. The problem is, and we get it, JD said, I had an intruder at my house. I get it. But here's the thing. If Fahey knows who Sean Paul Reyes is, it's not like they haven't talked before. He went up and knocked on the door, just like Jason said, you have every right to do that as a journalist. And I encourage you to go back and watch the video if you haven't seen the full video. So he knocks on the door. He actually walks off the steps, gets down to the walkway or patio area, ask him a question. The trooper comes out. He asks him a question, and then the trooper goes in and gets his gun and comes out. So to me, all on the phone with 911. Why didn't you just walk inside the house and say, hey, I got this crazy guy here. He's been giving me an issue. And you're going to see how quick they get there. So they're there within 3 to 5 minutes of the call. That's how close the police were. And there's multiple police officers that are going to show up. And I'm sure that I'm going to tell you, they probably have known about this. So, my whole thing is if you're afraid of this person, then why not just go back in the house, stay on the call with 911 and say, give them updates. He's walking around my house, or looks like he's walking up my driveway right now. It's not like they're not going to miss him. Like I said, there's a big black LED truck out front. They're going to see it.
Yeah, it'd be hard to flee the scene, right? But this point that you just made right here, where we talk about how fast the police response is, this is the kind of response when instead of just saying, I'm a guy at my house, you say I'm a Connecticut State Trooper. So when you say there's a guy on the lawn, instead of saying there's a police officer on the lawn, you know, we see the difference in the kind of response, because this response is boom, there's cops and there's a lot of them and it's fast.
Isn't that amazing how that works? Guy on the lawn, but hey, I'm a Connecticut State Trooper. Need a break from modern life? We'll travel back in time to the Star Drive-In. That's East Taunton's iconic retro hotspot. Fun for the whole family. Enjoy great food, entertainment, and timeless memories. They got free community events all season long, including movies under the stars, live music and tailgating, Jeep meets classic car shows and bike nights. While you're there, indulge in over 100 flavors of soft serve, 80 flavors of Bliss and Gifford's hard ice cream, plus a rotating selection of 10 flavors of Dole Whip. The Star Drive-In is not your average fast food place. Everything is made fresh to order using quality ingredients. Fresh seafood is delivered daily and pizza dough made twice a day for maximum freshness. I love their pizza. The Star Drive-In, where food, fun, and family memories never go out of style. They're conveniently located at 205 Myrick Street in East Taunton. That's exit 16 off Route 140. Make sure to visit their website or follow them on Facebook for their latest menus and upcoming events. And hey, while you're there, say hi to Erica and her team. And if you mention LTL at the register, you'll receive 10% off your entire purchase. That's the Star Drive-In in East Taunton. It's the most iconic retro hotspot. All right, let's go back up to the video here and watch.
No,
Get
it's
off
not.
my property right now.
It's not the biggest mistake.
Get
I
off
ever
my
made.
property right
It's
now.
not the biggest mistake.
Get
It's
off
like you
my
are spit in my face.
I didn't spit in your face.
You
I
disgusting.
was spitting on you.
Yeah.
Why I'm yelling at you to get off my property right
Get
now.
off. I'm off your property. Now what?
And I have to say this, he's a little man. He's a tiny little guy, and this is kind of like little man's disease, in my opinion.
Well, not only that, but do you see him? This is what cops do, right? This is the amazing thing here, because he's saying, I didn't spit in your face. Spit came out while I was talking.
No,
we watched him go.
Yeah,
right. But he's already adjusting the narrative. He's already starting his false police report in his head, right? Because he's going to give a statement or write a report, and he's already starting. That's what most people don't know, right? Like, we're here, we have a guest, and things happen. You're asking questions, and sometimes you have to pivot. You have to think on your feet. You have to do these things on YouTube, right? Well, as a cop, that's what he's doing. He's already starting to create the report in his head and going. So this guy who's in the middle of a confrontation, who is so out of control with anger and doing all these other things, still has the wherewithal to figure out he's also thinking in his head, how am I going to protect myself? How do I alter this statement to get it on camera to make sure that I'm saying I only did this? So like, that's the level of, sheer coordination that goes into these things. And it gets even worse when the cops arrives.
Yeah, he definitely hawk tooed right in his face. You heard it.
He sure did.
Yeah.
Now what? Look at the gun in his hand.
That's right, I have a gun in my hand. I'm a goddamn Connecticut State Trooper.
I don't care.
You threatened to kill me
No,
online.
I did
So
not.
I'm protecting myself
Right
and
there.
my family.
No, I did
Don't
not.
ever fucking come back to my house again.
No problem. I'll stand right here with my billboard truck.
You go right ahead. Go right
No
ahead.
problem.
I don't
You spit
care.
in my face. You're
Don't
going to
ever
jail.
come back to
You're
my
going to jail.
fucking house
You're
again.
going to jail.
Don't ever
You're
come
going
back to
jail.
my house
It's okay for
again.
you to assault people and break people's property, but I can't ask questions about
You're a
your
fucking
overtime.
liar.
About
You're
your
a
overtime,
my
$75,000
More than
for
that,
a desk job.
More than that.
Right?
More than
that. I'm gotta go. What a crazy psychopath! He spit in my face. No, I'm an independent journalist. Get it right, buddy. Get it right. I never threatened. He says I threatened to kill him.
I gotta say, I mean, Sean's held it together pretty well here. I mean, I know adrenaline's probably kicking in. He's probably nervous. I mean, he just had a pistol, literally a guy with a pistol standing next to him saying that, get off my property, turn your back on me. I don't think so, but I mean, this could have been really, really fucking bad. Really fucking bad.
I have a theory, which is the guy who has the audacity to drive a billboard truck to outside of a state police officer's house probably has balls enough to stand his ground in that way. Like, so it is kind of a character feature to do what he does, right?
Yeah.
But just like I said right before we played this next part of the clip, you threatened to kill me and my family online. He's writing the report. He's writing the report in his head. It doesn't matter. Because that's the narrative. He needs a narrative to work on him. So he's already working on the narrative in the middle of the incident. It's crazy.
Yeah. Jay Cornerstone, I think it's over 1 million views now. I think it's well over 1 million views. All right, let's play a little bit more here.
Ooh, I knocked on your front door. I'll get that 911 call too, buddy.
It's 759,000 views.
Look at this guy. I'm a Connecticut State Trooper. Come help me from the camera. Come help me from the guy asking me questions, please, before I shoot him. And I did. No, you spit in my face and you're going to jail.
If he's so afraid that he's gonna, just like he said that, you know, what he's saying is that Sean threatened him to kill him. If he's so afraid, then why not just turn and go up your property and go back to your house?
This is the third time he's reapproaching too. It's the third time.
That's good call out, Jason. Yeah.
You're going to jail. You spit in my face and you're going to, it's all right here, buddy. Right here. It's all right here. It's all right here, buddy. Look at these guys. Look.
No, look. The cops came.
I'm not breaking any laws. I'm not doing anything.
True.
He just spit in my face.
Get over here.
Whoa, I didn't break any laws.
You in a second, okay?
For what? I haven't broken the law. No. But do you have reasonable articulable suspicion I committed a crime? What?
Yeah,
what is it? What is
I got
it?
a call from a trooper.
That doesn't matter.
His face and there's a disturbance.
It doesn't matter. I'm a journalist. I knocked on the door and asked questions. No, I have no weapons on me.
Weapons on you.
We have a camera of mass destruction. I'm putting my camera down.
Don't move.
The camera of mass destruction.
Yeah.
Put it away.
What's your name?
Officer Romansky, it says right here. Nope, just stay right
He
here.
pulled out a gun on me for knocking on the door.
No, you're on his property.
I'm allowed to go on his property and knock on the door. Yes, I am.
Okay.
Yeah. You got to learn the law, man.
No.
I'm a journalist. No, you got to learn the law.
Okay. Let's just back
I'm
up.
allowed to ask questions.
Sure.
I am.
So let me tell you why we're here.
What's wrong with you? I'm not doing anything. I have no weapons on me. I have nothing. You couldn't stop. He has the weapon.
Okay. Now let me explain something to you.
Yeah, no weapons. He has the weapon.
Recording. Okay. So here's the deal. So here's the disconnect here. Here's the difference. So we get a call from him. He calls 911. Hold on.
I'm not going to speak. I'm letting you speak.
Okay. When you call 911 and say you're
I'm
in a
going to record,
disturbance
okay?
with somebody, we come code 3, like my lights are on.
You wouldn't do this for a citizen.
Yes, I would.
No, you wouldn't. You're doing it because he's a state trooper.
No.
That's why. You're doing it because he's a state trooper.
Okay. We do it for citizens every single day. Okay?
Not like this.
Yes, 100%, all the time. If we think there's an active disturbance, then we respond code 3, which means lights and sirens, and we're in an emergency response.
Do you see the spit on my face?
I don't.
You don't see the spit on my face? Well, I have it on camera. He spit in my face. I want him arrested. He spit in my face.
All right.
On camera.
Okay.
I want you to lock him up. He spit in my face. You understand that?
Okay.
If I spit in your face, what would happen to me?
Okay. Here, listen.
I knocked on a door and he spit in my face. You can't do that.
Okay. I got what you're saying. Let's just take a step
There's
back
spit
here.
all over. I'm going to go get DNA test on his spit so you can see it.
Go do what you got to do. Let's find out what happened, the whole story.
All right, I'm going to tell you really quick what happened, okay?
No, tell me. Take a minute.
Okay. I'm an
I got a
independent.
camera on too, so
Sure.
we're good.
I'm an independent journalist.
Okay.
I'm here peacefully protesting. This man, as you can see from the video footage right here, assaulted me, stole my camera from me. He was never held accountable. I got a tip as an independent journalist that he is cooking the books when it comes to his overtime. I did some research. He gets $75,000 of overtime a year, and he's a desk sergeant. So I thought that was interesting. So I wanted to follow up on it.
Okay.
I went up here. There's no trespassing signs. I'm very familiar with the law. There aren't any no trespassing signs or anything like that. I went up, knocked on the door. He answered the door. I said, "Do you have any comment?" He said, "Get off my property." I immediately started, and his camera will show that. Because I know the law, I don't break the law, sir. I immediately started back.
Jason, let me ask you a question. How do you feel they're responding right now? Do you think they're handling it proper? I mean,
well, the interesting thing is that when he, and I always try to look at this from 1,000-foot view, right? I'm trying to put myself in the position of the police officer, put myself in the position of Sean, I'm trying to do all of this, right? And I do know that when we know how agitated and how loud the Fahey was on the call, and they hear him swearing and screaming and all of this stuff. So I do understand why they may have stepped up their response. And the first officer who's by himself when he gets there, his instinct is to separate them, right? Which is actually
de-escalate.
Which is right by the board. He didn't de-escalate right away. He made a mistake, but his first instinct was to separate them, which was good. Sure. And then he's like, I got a call from a trooper. Okay, well, now you just set the table for everyone to be able to say, oh, I see. Like, hold on, my partner over here called me and said this, you know? But then he actually did a fairly good job of trying to de-escalate. I mean, especially if there's two cops on the scene, the one that lives there and the one that responded. And one of them did a fairly decent job of trying to de-escalate. And when you look at it in comparison to their behavior, you know,
and you've even watched Sean now come down a little bit. I mean, he was angry still about the spit, but now he's starting to come down too. So.
Well, and this is just such a crucial moment in this video because it literally is why they train police to de-escalate, because you want the subject, the person that you're speaking to, their energy to match your energy. So if you bring your energy down, you watched it happen. And Sean did get a little amped up again because he feels like he's not being heard, but you do have that situation. That could have been what Sergeant Fahey did the first time they had an encounter, the second time they had an encounter, and this time. He never did that. He escalated from the beginning in every single one of those encounters. That guy shouldn't be a cop. Like, that guy should not wear a badge. There's just no question. But this Groton cop started out good. It didn't end up so good, but I think it ended up over his head.
Yeah, it's it's a good analysis though. I mean, definitely this guy should not be holding a badge. Here we go.
Backing up while continuing to ask him questions. He went back inside, closed the door, would have been the end of it. He came back out with his gun in his hand, got inches from my face. No, I would say less than inches from my face, real up to my face, and spit in my face. It's all over my face right here. All this wet is not sweat. He spit in my face as I'm leaving his property, as he asked me to do. Hey, can I just get your name and badge number, ma'am? Thank you. I appreciate it. I just want to know everybody that's here. That's all.
Yeah. I'm Romansky. That's Brion. My sergeant's right there. His name is Sergeant Bedard. You can talk with him.
He knows me. I know him. He knows I'm not a threat to him. Okay. I'm asking him questions.
I don't know that. Okay.
No, he knows that.
Okay, I got you. But if somebody came onto your property
and asked a question,
so if somebody came onto my property and I didn't know them, then I would be a little upset about it. And I don't know.
So do you get mad? Do you get mad at a Jehovah Witness?
No.
Do you pull out a gun on a Jehovah Witness?
I say no, thank you. Please leave.
Right.
And
they leave. Right. Do you pull out your gun? Yes. And do you pull out your gun and spit in their face?
Sounds like you're trying to question them.
Now look, we're starting to shape the narrative here. Sounds like you're trying to question him. We can. He's a journalist.
No, but that's not the real problem in this moment. The real problem in this moment is Officer Romansky is there to take information about what's happened so that it can later be used to determine what happened. And he's giving information, right? It's incorrect information, I might add too, but it's, it didn't look like you were leaving. How do you know that? You weren't there. Right. You weren't even there. Like, you haven't seen any video of this thing yet. You're standing here talking to the subject, and now you're telling him what happened when you weren't even there. And you heard it on the phone. It sounds like you were trying to continue to question him. Well, because the law doesn't say you have to shut up and leave. It just says you have to leave. So that was an error right there. And I guarantee you, in the ultimate lawsuit that this comes up, that's going to be brought up because Sean's going to sue the Groton Police Department.
I think I saw something, and I can't confirm, Jason, but I think it's like a $20 million lawsuit that's going to be filed. I saw some rumors of that online.
That moment right there is going to come up in that lawsuit without question, in some of the, or at least in the lawfare that occurs ahead of time, because they'll probably end up by being a settlement, because there's not even arguable for the ultimate arrest. I hate to give you guys a spoiler, but for the ultimate arrest, there's not even arguable probable cause for the charge of voyeurism. There's not. It's all ridiculous. And if you were going to charge a person with causing a disturbance or doing any of that, like, you literally are going to have to contend with the person that actually was causing the disturbance, which is Sergeant Brian Fahey. Not so if you didn't charge him for causing a disturbance, you definitely aren't going to charge this other guy who did exactly what he was supposed to do under the law and backed up. The one area, just to be fair, the one area which I need a little more research, and maybe Nan will message us after and tell us. The only thing is there's no trespassing signs. There is that one sign that says private road. And I still don't think that will count as a no trespassing sign, but that's the one. He
doesn't. I think Sean explains to it after his driveway and that road comes in. That's actually it's private. I don't know. He explained in his video, but he doesn't actually own that area of the road. It's not technically his property. It's like conjoined property. I don't know. He explains.
I saw when he was backing up. I did see that there's like a Y and there's another
because it goes off to another house, right? And
so
past those trees, if you see that splits the property, there was trees there. I think past that tree line is like, I don't know. He explained it and he's like, yeah, it's not his property.
And Nan's saying in the chat now that I agree. I thought that too, but that was again, when I do this, I actually try to search for other people's points and trying to see like what's the argument they're going to make and what they're going to do. And in this entire instance, that's the one thing that I saw that I said, this is the only thing where there's even a possibility of something there, because everything else is so egregious and so bogus that it's like, there's not, this lawsuit's going to settle from the Groton Police Department or whatever else, because there's not even arguable probable cause to make an arrest. And there is arguable probable cause for them to have made an arrest of Brian Fahey.
Yeah, Jay Corner says there's a shared driveway. And we saw earlier too that Fahey tried to say that Sean's camera was a taser, I guess, in a previous interaction or report. So I mean, we can know where this is going. Let's play a little bit more of this here. I'm gonna be right back, Jason. I gotta step aside for a second. Hang on. I'll just play this.
As I'm leaving.
As you're leaving.
Right. You can do two things at the same time, officer.
Sure, you can
do two things at the same time.
Do whatever you want. But if somebody came onto my property and asked them to leave, and it sounds like you weren't leaving.
No. You're. This is why I have multiple cameras. He has a camera.
He has his camera on. Like,
but you weren't here. This is you're missing the point.
Okay.
You're missing the point.
Do you want to show me the footage?
I can show you the footage, but wait. I can show you the footage. Go ahead. Actually, you know what? We'll see what he says, because I want him to write a report and be a liar and then go to jail for that too. He spit in my face. Do you understand that?
Yes.
What if somebody spit in your face? Do you understand? Right. He spit in my face.
But do you understand? I wouldn't want somebody on my property either.
I can ask. Well, I have every right to go to his property and ask a question.
Okay. But
he doesn't have a right to spit in my mouth, in my face, sir.
He asked you to leave.
And I began to leave immediately.
He just immediately jumped.
He went back inside, got his gun. He's on the phone with 911 saying, I have a gun. As him and I are backing up, he gets in my face all the way down this driveway here, telling me, get off my property. Then I threatened to kill him. I've never threatened to kill him. He's a liar, and it's all on camera, so don't make any false statements, you liar.
You're talking to me, okay?
He's lied before on camera. He's lied before in internal affairs reports. He has said that he thought my camera was a firearm. He has said ridiculous things in internal affairs reports. I'm a journalist. I have every right to knock on anybody's door I want. The minute that they ask me to leave, I leave. That's it. I have every right, and I did leave.
You just told me you were trying to ask him questions when he told you to leave.
As I'm leaving. Did you miss that part?
Well, no, actually, I want to see.
I will show you. Ready? I will show you.
No.
Hey, do you have any comments on this and that? That's what happened.
Okay, can you show me the footage? You won't show me.
I want to see what he says first.
Okay.
I want to see what he says first.
That's a good point. Let's see what he says first, and then I'm going to show you.
It's what the cops do, right? So it's before they give their statement to internal affairs. I want to watch the body camera before I give my statement, I want to watch the body camera so I can figure out, and let's all have a little powwow so we can figure out how to get our story straight, right? Let's get our story straight. Right. But Sean is doing exactly the right thing. He's using their own tactic against them. It is a thing. Sorry, I was distracted by the chat for a minute, but there is this whole concept of the police do that, and Sean is so smart for forcing them to get their side on the record first before he gives the evidence, because you saw Fahey doing it down the driveway. He's starting his story. Now you see the cop in the street doing it. Yeah, but you didn't leave right away, but you were asking him questions, and he's starting to shape the narrative. They're all, from the start, they're all in it to get the narrative that gets the outcome they want, when what they should be in it for is to get the truth of what occurred. But that lasted for about 10 seconds, and then immediately became, how do I find something to justify Sean's arrest? How do I change the narrative to protect Brian Fahey? It's just the perfect microcosm of what happens on a larger level. You're seeing it all in this video, and it's in front of our eyes so we can actually watch it occurring.
All right, let's bump up. I'm going to speed up about 10 minutes because this back and forth is going to kind of go. It's pretty much the same thing for the next 10 minutes. And we'll go to when they're ultimately going to make the decision of what they're going to happen to Sean. If anybody hasn't seen this video or wants to watch it without my commentary and Jason's commentary, I'll drop the link in the chat, and I'll also have it in the description after. So if you want to go watch the full video without our commentary, you can do that. All right, let's go back up here. This is going to be the ultimate decision in this. And then what I want to do is, after this segment, I want to touch on a quick segment of a gentleman out in Haverhill, Mass. that was just recently killed by police. Tim Broyles has now been hired by the family to represent them. And we'll talk a little about that, and then we'll wrap up and end the show. So here we go.
Okay, do you want to get transported?
No, it's fine.
Okay.
No,
that's
fine.
So you're good with them?
Yeah.
Okay.
I just need a little bit of information from you when you get a moment.
Sure.
Is there anything else we can do for you?
No, that's it. Thank you, man. I appreciate you coming out. So I don't want to waste your time. Thanks, guys.
Good luck.
Appreciate
to
it.
you,
Thank
man.
you, sir. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
Take care.
Have a good one.
I like your video.
Thank you.
They probably don't want me to say that.
They would only not want you to say that if they weren't on the up and up.
You said the right thing. Say whatever you want.
Yeah, free speech. That's what I fight for, right? Free
That's
speech.
all you're all about.
Free speech.
You guys.
I love that
Take care.
interaction.
Yeah, it's funny. Yeah, that's why I wanted to play it there. I knew they had that interaction. All right, so
He's the lucky
Hey,
locker
sir, how
of
are
the
you?
ambulance service.
So is there any updates on, because obviously I want to press charges for him spitting in my face that I showed the sergeant here on camera. So what's going to happen with that?
So we went through the assault statute specifically, and there's nothing that specifically states that spitting on somebody is an assault unless it caused you physical pain.
So essentially, everybody can go around Groton and fucking spit all over everybody. That's what they're saying.
Not quite everybody.
Unless it's a police officer, then it's assault and you go to jail for fucking 10 years.
The only thing that assault fits is physical pain. And that's under the exception of if you spit on an officer, then that is when bodily fluids become involved.
So he could spit on me in my face and in my mouth, and that's not against the law?
Oh, wait, what's this?
Circumstances, I'm saying that it doesn't really fit the assault charge.
Oh, my God.
So what happened if I spit on you?
Well, then you would get arrested because I'm an officer.
Oh, there you
can't spit
go.
on an
That's how
officer
it works.
Because in the assault on an officer charge, bodily fluids are included.
The bodily fluids aren't there unless you're an officer.
You're telling me, as a sergeant of the Groton.
Yeah, bodily fluids don't matter unless you're an officer.
No. He said when he first said it, he said, well, if you spit on an officer, then there's bodily fluids involved. So you're saying that when he spit on Sean, there was no bodily fluids involved.
It didn't cause him physical pain, right?
It just is. Bodily fluids only exist if you're spitting on an officer.
Yeah, you can't make this up. You can't make it up. All right, here we go.
Okay, Trooper Paul.
You're telling me there is no charge for a grown.
You just spoke to him, right? It just did.
Oh man, spitting in another grown man's
telling you that
face.
it doesn't fit assault.
Well, what does it fit?
There you go. That's the question.
Isn't that your job to find out? What does it fit? Like what crime it is?
Breach of peace, but you're on his property. You interacted. You engaged the interaction. I mean,
so if it's a breach of peace, arrest him for a breach of peace.
Well, that's the other issue that we're going down right now. Is you guys are also in violation of a breach of peace.
No.
As well as
I mean, take us
voyeurism.
both then. Take us both then. It's not
So-
voyeurism. It's not voyeurism to knock on somebody's door. That's not.
It is if
it's
he has
not.
a reasonable expectation of privacy and you invade on his curtilage
No,
and you're recording.
you're wrong.
him-
But do it. Then I will gladly go take the ride. Arrest us both for a breach
All
of
right,
peace.
well, then turn around for me.
I love that.
Do what you got to do, man. Do what you got to do. This is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
All that for you. 1, 2.
He didn't even do anything. He didn't even do anything. He was just recording.
Yep.
I
And
guess.
that's why you're getting arrested as well, because you're both recording on this private property, initiating this, which caused a giant scene.
Thank you for that
I
for the lawsuit. Thank you for that for the lawsuit. That's why you're getting arrested as well, because you're both recording on his private property. Oh, thank you. It's about the recording. Thank you
Yeah.
very much for admitting that on camera, you moron police officer.
And again, this goes back to this, Jason. If it was ABC News van and walked up there with a big professional camera in the hand and went and knocked on the door, I can almost guarantee you that interaction would have been completely different from Fahey. He would have came out with his phone in his hand, 911, get off my property. I don't want to answer any questions. Go back in his house and waits for the cops to get there. That's how this all would have ended. The thing is that it's the track record with Sean Paul asking the tough questions that people don't want to answer and has completely been persistent and followed up on this. And we know of all the incidences he's had, I think 3 or 4 of them since this. Okay, the pushing, the shoving in front of other officers at a state police facility with plenty of camera footage and reports and whatever it is. Fahey, was looking for a reason to shoot and kill Sean Paul. That's what this comes down to. And I commend Sean Paul for this. Walking up, using his journalistic ability, knocking on the door, creating that space, because he knows this guy's fucking crazy, creating that space, asking some tough questions. He didn't like it. Fahey goes back in the house and gets his gun, chase him off his property, says, you need to leave, you need to leave. He is leaving, but he's not going to turn his back on this guy. This guy has a gun. I'm going to tell you, I'm never turning my back on anybody that has a gun in their hand, even if they're telling me to leave my property. I'm slowly backing up. I'm walking off that property because I don't want to make a move, just like we just talked about. We've heard a lot of this shit. Oh, he made a move. That's what he was waiting for. He wanted to kill and shoot this guy. And thank God that they had a camera there, because this situation would have been completely different. There would have been, Sean would have been dead. The cop would have been justified. And ironically, just like in Karen Reed's case, that ring cam footage would have went missing or disappeared, or just like you said, Jason, they never would have asked for it.
That, the thing is, this actually points out a good point here. But like, even if he was recording, it's not thank God for the camera, right? Because if he was just recording himself, he'd probably still be dead. Thank God he had a second person and a cameraman. Like, for people that want to do this, I've followed and covered this First Amendment audit community since 2017, 2018, like all the way back then, from the original, the godfather of the auditing movement, Carlos Miller in Miami, who started the organization Photography is Not a Crime, literally got involved because he was a photographer, would be out there taking pictures, and then the police started harassing him. Jeff Gray, all of these people, and you watch these, you kind of watch this movement evolve, and people want to get involved and they want to do things like this. It takes a special breed, but when you're doing it, like, you have to be smart and you have to be safe and you have to do these things because they are risking their lives.
Yeah, they're looking for a moment to kill him. That's it. That's all they want to do is just kill you. Another good one to watch is Mass Accountability. He's in Massachusetts. He's a great channel.
Yeah. So the point is when you look at this, it's just all around. There is so much wrong with this, and we have these great moments there where we have the police officer on camera saying, no, it's because you're recording on his private property. So there you go. So you've tied it to the recording, you've tied it to the First Amendment. These cops hate the First Amendment, man. I don't care what they do, they hate it. They don't. Most of them begrudgingly accept it when he said, I can say what I want. You should say what you want, he said to the guy, but they don't want to be on camera. They don't want you to have cameras, and they're going to do anything they can do. You may be able to beat the rap, but you can't beat the ride. And I think Sean even says that in this. I'll take the ride.
Too, yeah.
All I can say is I'm predicting now in the audit video that this is going to be Sean Paul Reyes gets an A+. The officers get an F.
I love that guy.
Guys-
If you want to watch Sean's video, I got the link right there. You can click on that. I dropped it in the chat, and you can watch that. And also, if you want to support Sean, and I did the other day, I dropped him a little bit of money in his kettle. He's about $5,000 away from fighting the charges back on this. I'm going to drop the link there. You can support him if you'd like to. He's got a GoFundMe up, and you can support Sean over there.